What's up, everybody? I am Unicorn, and welcome back to my channel. Happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays to all of y'all. Make sure as you're coming on in, sign up with Betty in the back. Yes, that means subscribe, like, share, and if at any point you're feeling a little stressed on your chest, you feel like you need to get something off, go ahead and drop it down in the comments below. All right, cool, great. Now we have all of the pleasantries on out of the way. Great. Now, let's get started. Let's go ahead and dive into this episode. I'm gonna let y'all know off top that this episode, it's taking me a few days to actually record this video because the episode was a little, it was a little dry. It was a little snooze, but we're gonna try to put it together the best that we can because that's what we do here. Okay, we are professionals. We are professionals. Work. Okay, so do y'all like my little Morris Chestnut 90s blazer situation? You know, I'm trying, I'm giving the girls a little skin for Thanksgiving, giving the girls a little body on you. I was channeling well, actually, now I've had this in my closet for a while, but Candace actually wore something very similar to this, so I was like, you know what, why not a little inspo for the day. Okay, anyway. So the episode starts off, we are still at Ashley's house, Ashley's beach house on the dirt. And she finishes telling Wendy about whatever cockamamie bullshit that she done came up with about what Nneka had said. Now listen here. I really do struggle with believing that Ashley intentionally set out to put 20s on 10s and to flip this story into something that it could not be. However, we all must come to the realization, we all have to let it settle in our spirits that Ashley is a good for nothing, low down, scheming, dirty, trifling heifer. Oh, that was a mouthful. Bitch. Girl, the spirit of Michael done crept up in my throat. Oh. I almost choked. Anyway, so we all have to admit that Ashley is a low-down, scheming, dirty, trifling, common piece of heifer. And that she will waste no opportunity to seep her neck into her forehead into mess. So I do believe that it came across to Ashley like, oh, we have two Nigerians on the show. Now we can really create some drama, some cultural commotion, if you will. However, I do believe that Ashley at one point probably thought to herself, or she conferred with her other light-skinned partners in crime, and they say, you know what, this might not be the best look for you to be so boldly creating mess between these two girls, because we already got this colorism shit on our necks, and that's just not really a good look for us. So I feel like somebody pulled her to the side and was like, Ashley, this might not be the best move for you. So now she's backtracking and backpedaling and trying to weasel her way out of accountability. However, that new girl has set her sights on Wendy. Like, for whatever reason, she and Wendy's family got beef, but we will get to that at the end of the review. So, Robin gets into telling the girls that Giselle, Ashley, and Charisse all had like an intervention for her, and they kind of just wanted her to be mad at Juan. She is letting us know that she has no intentions on being mad at Juan, and I, for one, support that, because if you ain't leaving a nigga, if you ain't leaving the man, ain't no point, ain't no reason for you to be sitting up here stressed and spreading your shoulders out and huffing your shoulders up about this man's whereabouts. Let it go, and when you're ready to be mad, you got something to be mad about. So after that, Karen and Robin, they go off to the side and they have a conversation. They hashing it out, boom, boom, bam. Girl, you said this about me. You said this about me. I don't know who started it. They going back and forth about who started it. And basically Karen and Robin settle on, I will not bring up any false shit about you. Don't you bring none about me. And that's where we gonna be. How in the black ever? I do find it very convenient that Karen decided to wave her white flag at this particular moment. I do still believe that there is a little bit of validity to the stories that came out about Karen last season, but that's my girl, and I'm just gonna let it. We just gonna let it, stay right there. So then Ashley brings up the fact that Wendy is starting her own talk show. And Wendy gets into talking about her show in front of Giselle, Mia, and all her ops, basically, all at this round table, and her pending op, Nneka. So she's talking about her show or whatever, and then something about the editing feels very choppy to me in this scene, because like, how did we go from this lady describing what her show was about to then them cutting to Cherie saying something about, or then just cutting to Wendy saying that, my show is very smart, and you dumb bitches gonna have to catch up and pull out a dictionary in order to figure out what we're talking about. It was very odd to me that we just jumped straight into that. Like, that editing was very choppy. Then Cherie's chiming in talking about, well, that was very shady, and she was like, well, I was just drinking my water. It was just very weird. Like, I feel like something had to been said in order for Wendy to jump straight into shade. But either way, that gets Mia to talking or whatever, and then Wendy calls Mia slow. We will get into how I feel about that term being used in that context later on when Mia brings it up to Karen. But they get into it, and basically it's given like Mia is she's incapable of sparring with Wendy. She is incapable of keeping up with this lady. So then we get into this scene where everybody is sitting around or whatever, and Wendy invites Ashley to her child's communion, her child's first communion, and she doesn't invite anybody else. Obviously, Karen is already invited, but my thing with that scene is like, obviously, I'm not inviting you girls to my child's communion. Now, I do think that it was rather convenient that she invited Ashley in front of the whole group when she could have done that when they were already having that one-on-one. But I'm here for the shade. Like, yeah, y'all tried to disinvite me and my kids to that little raggedy ass tinfoil function. I'm good. We're good. We're about to have an elaborate event with all of our African necessities and such. So, girl, I don't know. But I guess she was trying to get her lick back. And I'm always in favor of getting your lick back. So get your lick back. Get your lick back. So then we head into the scene where Wendy and Eddie, they're practicing the communion with their boys, which is a really cute scene. I love anything that Eddie is involved in. Let me stop flirting with this lady, man. Anyway, so, child, because the way I could be baptized at that community. Anyway, so then they head into the room, and then Wendy is giving her husband the 411 about Ashley's little beach house warming. Beach house on the dirt warming. Anyway, so she tells him all about what Ashley tells her that Nneka said about her. Child, this is just so messy. Let me tell you what cousin baby Ray Ray said about Shalonda and cousin Frederica. Anyway, so she tells him all about that. So here's my only thing about the situation with Nneka. Now that we know that Ashley is the culprit of all of this confusion, fine. My issue with Nneka is that she came in there guns blazing for Wendy for whatever reason. It is already appearing to me that this lady is a fan of this show, and she came in there hot and wanting to get hot with somebody, and she chose Wendy. The whole PhD thing. Well, is she a doctor? She's not a doctor, a medical doctor. She holds a PhD. She is a doctor of philosophy. You knew that, and Ashley also didn't need you to say that to her. Like, it was just a very off-putting comment to make. Now, some people could say that it is just, oh, anybody would ask if someone says that they're a doctor, they're a medical doctor. No. Most people would be like, oh, what do you specialize in? Are you a neurosurgeon? Are you a anesthesiologist? Are you a heart surgeon? Like, do you work with cancer? Are you an OBGYN? People would ask those kind of questions because your first mind does usually go to when somebody says, is this person a doctor? When somebody says, oh, this person's a doctor, usually your first mind to, oh, what kind of doctor? Nobody says like, oh, a doctor. Like, so she came in being messy. On Wendy's time. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that. Now we're at this scene where Karen comes to Mia's shoebox of an apartment. She coming in there, she got to squeeze in through the door. She got to squeeze by the kitchen to get to the dining room. She got to suck her breast in and her back, and she got to hold everything together. So, child, because she can't breathe up in that little place. Karen got a whole lot of body and body, girl. She needs places to move around and swing, girl. She needs to swing off the chandelier. Like, this is a woman of means, and you got her down here in your little cramped ass apartment. No shade, her apartment bigger than mine, so child, Karen, you definitely can't come up over here, girl. Anyway, so they get in a talking, right? Now, Mia brings up Wendy calling her slow. And now tries to connect that to her son's speech impediment and her son being in special education and yada, yada, yada. One thing I have never enjoyed about Wendy is that Wendy will throw anybody under the bus in order to make herself the victim in any situation. I think that is one of the most like desperate things about her, and there are a few that we could name, but that is one of the most desperate things about her is that she's always so willing to throw somebody under the bus in order to become the victim in that scenario. I don't think that her son's special needs or her son's speech impediment needed to be publicized in order to make her point. She could have said that I don't appreciate Wendy using the word slow to me because that word should not be used in that context. You calling somebody slow, like that is technically a slur to the autistic community. Now, I am in the autism field. I work with autistic kids. So, that to me, it is a sensitive subject. Sometimes, like, I don't like when people call kids the R word or use slow as a derogatory term. Like, I don't like that. So when Wendy said it, I was a little like, ooh, girl, that was like, I wish we could have used a different word. But to Wendy's point, girl, like, if Johnny has 5 apples, she was not using the slow word in order to call you like mentally behind, girl. She was saying that you are beneath her. You can't catch up to her. You are beneath her intellectually. Now, she was not using the word to come at your son, nor was she using the word to poke fun at your son's disabilities or disadvantages. You trying to connect the two is low. That is low. It's low. And we're just going to move on from there. All right, so next we have a scene with Candace, Wendy, and Kiana. I hope I'm saying her name correctly because she got a lot of vowels in there and this random R. So, baby, I'm hoping that I'm saying your name correctly, Kiana. Either way, hi, Kiana, girl. I have loved you ever since I first met you. Down at that club where you was beating the crap out of Deborah. Mama, I've loved you ever since then. So you all right in my book. I ain't got nothing else to say about this scene, girl. Yes, all y'all looked good. And to me, 1, 2, and 3, like, these are the faces of Potomac. Period. You picked the right team, sis. So then we head to the scene where Ashley and Karen go dress shopping for Wendy's son communion. Ashley's hard ass titties in that dress. I'm like, girl, hide them things. Girl, we don't want to see that. Girl, ooh, they're hard as rocks. Yee, yee, yee. Like, girl. Ooh. Anyway, Ashley gets into telling Karen that she mistakenly used Nneka to get to Wendy. And Karen was like, girl, is you being messy? Because, you know, we all know that Ashley is messy and that's something that she would do. She said, no, I really wasn't being messy. Da, 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 da. She's lying. Either way it goes. They have that conversation. That is done. Now we move on over to the actual communion. This is the first time that Candace and Ashley see each other. Candace is like, I'd be good anytime I see her. I ain't scared of this hoe. This girl ain't nothing but hard rock titties and forehead. Ain't nothing about her scaring me. And you know what? I live, Candace. That's right. And then Ashley tells Wendy that, you know, she didn't mean what she said when she said that Nneka said something about her when it came to her being Osu. Work. All right. Now we get to the ending of the episode where Nneka tells Robin that Wendy's family... Well, the conversation starts with Nneka telling Robin that Wendy pretended like she didn't know her or that she was meeting her for the very first time. Now, if I've just only ever met somebody in passing, I don't remember your name or whatever, like it very well could be that I did not even remember you when I saw you again. Or it could be that, you know, well, this is our first official time meeting each other. So yeah, nice to meet you. And my thing is, if you wanted her to recall the time that y'all met before, why didn't you do it? If you remember, you could have just been like, oh, okay, yeah, we met before. Da, 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 da. So you trying to pin that on her, we could also pin this exact same thing on you, sweetie. And Robin clocked it. So either way, then Miss Thing gets into telling Robin about how Wendy's mother cursed her family and all this other shit. It would just seem to me that you could have... Now, let's say that all of this was going on, right? And Wendy knew about it. Yeah, I wouldn't come up to you acting like I know you when I really don't, and knowing that my mama just cursed you. Something about Wendy's energy, though, tells me that she doesn't know that her mother had this energy with Nneka. But I guess we will find that out next week. My thing with Nneka is that, like, if you had all of this smoke for Wendy and if you felt this kind of way, or if you feel like her mama was doing something, you could have pulled her to the side at Ashley's event and be like, girl, do you know your mama was cursing me? But no, you came on this show already decided where you was going to align yourself. That's why you was cozying up to Robin at Ashley's house, and that's why you took her out to lunch, because you wanted to get in with the light-skinned girls. That's why your foundation looked like that, because you trying to blend in with them. Girl, your foundation ain't matching your neck, baby, and you need to get your neck up out of Robin's ass, because these people's going to land you on the chopping block. We don't like them, and it would just been so smart for you to align yourself with the fellow Nigerian girl on the show. Like, it's so weird that these girls come on this show just so desperate to be on Giselle and Robin's team. They're awful people. Please let them go. Either way, that has been my review of this episode. I will see y'all next week. Toodles.